I wonder if that has anything to do with maybe his attitude. Who knows? Also, am I tripping or am I really, really loving the locks on Klingons? I'm loving the locks in this family. It does kind of it does kind of let me kind of think that there may be some sort of tribe that does kind of like deal solely in locks. But in addition to the Klingons having locks, Zyla, I'm going to throw this to you as well, but Ty, please feel free to comment. Notice that they summoned a Klingon to the ship, specifically our captain, Nala, summoned a Klingon, and this Klingon was a lighter Klingon, okay? Now look, it was this close to having blonde hair, like... I know he ain't got a blonde Klingon. I know we can change a lot of things. Like, it's so funny. Like, I can deal with the vegetarian Klingon, or maybe he's gay or with locks, but blonde, nah, bro. Now you done crossed the line. Not my Klingon. But not just playing. But I thought that was interesting because if you recall, Zyla, I'm not sure how if you watched the entirety of Discovery, or even if you watched there in the Deep Space Nine, was it Deep Space Nine? There's this big thing about the albino Klingon. Do you remember this? Like the albino.
I've been watching Discovery, so I definitely seen the start of that conversation.
Yeah. Like in Discovery, in the beginning of it, if you recall, Ty, there's a white Klingon who is shunned by the rest of the Klingons. And he's like, and I remember there was a meeting like, we don't hold your white skin against you. You know, we understand. We get that you've been oppressed. And it was like, I like trained my mind. I was like, oh, what's happening right now? But yeah, this albino white Klingon. Now, if you go back to Deep Space Nine, the albino is like a legendary dude, like Klingon who evades the warrior, you know. But like they're rare, is my point. Like lighter skin of that hue Klingons, they're not as frequently shown, at least on screen. So for us to get like this Admiral-esque type of Klingon who does give all of the features, it was, I don't want to say slightly confusing, but it didn't necessarily match the continuity of the folklore of those the albino or the lighter Klingons, so to speak. You got any thoughts on that, Zyla? Did that strike you at all? And then Ty, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I guess I didn't see him as a albino. I just thought he was one of the light. Not that we see it a lot, but it definitely, I mean, wherever he was from, it was different from where J-Dub was from. But I know that things are different after the burns, and they all, all the houses had to be together and be like all on that one ship because there was so much wreckage. So I'm not sure about that. But Ty?
Interesting. Yeah, Ty, what you think, bro?
I mean, there's a lot that went on in this episode, but I think it goes, the fact that we're having this conversation goes back to the root of this episode. One of the things that I noticed in this episode was the fact that they were talking about how tradition versus change and where you are as an individual and in your time and everything like that. And I think this has been kind of the concept of this entire show, is that there are going to be some things that are still the same, but there's going to be a lot of things that change. One of the things that we know in terms of what you were talking about as far as the Discovery episode, he was I think an albino Klingon